Scream is on top of the slasher world right now. Let's determine which is better between Scream 5 and Scream 6. What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome back to Good Reel Hunting, where we have the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Brett Man's right over here. Today we got a slash it out episode of the last two Scream movies, Scream 5 versus Scream 6. They destroyed the box office. Now let's talk about which one of these movies is better, Birdie.
Man, did you like that, though? Slash! I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing that from now on. Yeah! But before we get into this particular Slash Out, we want to thank you all for voting on the last Slash Out episode between Child's Play 2019 Remake versus Megan. I will go ahead and let you all know that the Child's Play 2019 Remake did indeed win. So be sure when we get done with this episode, you all vote on this particular matchup. And also, just leave a comment down below what you think about this particular Slash Out, or is there a particular Slash Out that you want to see in the future? We want to hear from you. But without further ado, Brad, are you ready to get into the tail of the tape?
Whip it up, Daddy. Yes.
Whip it up. All right, and yeah, again, new era of Good Reel Hunting, meaning a new, fancier look at the freaking tail of the tape here. I included a freaking letterbox, and you can see America, Canada, and the world freaking showing in this. But Brad, what stands out to you with these numbers?
Well, Scream 6 making more money than Scream 5. I think that's big, right? Like the Halloween franchise, for instance, did not do that. Halloween 2018 came out. Kills did not make more than 2018. Now, granted, that was during COVID. There's a lot of variables there. But Scream, I think, is trending in the right direction. People are getting excited about this, man.
Yeah, man. And you know what it really is, like, with the money and everything? It's just new, likable characters. And they do such a great job. And we'll get to the character comparisons and all that, but I'll just throw that out real quick. I feel like the characters, that everybody loves these new characters in the Scream franchise that they have inserted to carry the franchise forward. But what really, again, just the freaking money, man. $100 million for Scream 6. I would have told you that I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, dude, same. And dude, the marketing was stellar for it. I mean, I know it generated a lot of buzz. People were really excited about it. And then when the word of mouth for this movie was excellent. People were jacked when they got out of the theater because it took this franchise to new heights, in my opinion, which you guys can know, you've seen our review at this point, but we're both high on that for sure.
Yeah, and everybody, all those freaking Neve Campbell haters. I know you saw this movie. I know you all saw this movie, and now it became I love this movie without Neve Campbell. I know you all out there. But we'll see about Neve Campbell for Scream 7. Before we can even get to Scream 7, Brad, let's freaking start this Slash It Out, man. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about the story comparison here, man. I think both of these movies, they have neither one of the stories are super complex or anything like that. But I think Scream 5 they played everything really safe. The story was very familiar. It almost felt like a requel. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what it was, but it almost felt like a remake of the first Scream movie. And then Scream 6 comes in with a more, a new setting and all that stuff, which we'll talk about. So I thought Scream 6 was a bit more fresh with the way it opened, with everything like that, with the way the story kind of happened throughout the movie. I thought Scream 6 was fresh, and I appreciate it for that. So I think I would give this nod to Scream 6, man. It just felt like it took more chances, and we had a little bit more fun with it.
Yeah, and before I go into mine too, this is we are talking about Scream from 2022 and Scream 6 from 2023. So this will contain some spoilers, but we'll do our best not to avoid them or like to not go into those details if you have not seen either of these two. But wanted to throw that out there. There will be some of these questions that we will talk about.
Yeah, we will talk, like the killer reveal we'll talk about later. So just be prepared for that. I like the story, but like you said, Brett, it did play it safe because it was kind of like almost a reintroduction to the Scream world after 11-year absence from Scream 4, just to kind of get everyone caught up to speed and mainly just get this new generation of horror fans into the story realm that is the Scream with the new characters and everything. But with Scream 6, yeah, they definitely went into more like a personal story with these new pretty much the core four, especially with Sam, just kind of like her real, like Melissa Barrera's like real life experience after the first or after Scream 5.
kind of using her story like that to mold it into this story, so you can kind of relate to it. So it almost has like Scream 6, where the story has more of a relatability than from Scream 5. So I'm with you, Brad. I'm giving Scream 6 the story comparison.
Shoot, yeah, man. While we're kind of on that category, the setting was a big part of that. New York for Scream 6 versus Woodsboro, back to Woodsboro for Scream 5. Obviously, just talked about how fresh Scream 6 made me feel, and the setting is a big part of that. So I got to, again, I love Woodsboro. I mean, we've always been a big fan of Woodsboro, right? We like it. We've been there since the first movie. But New York, I thought they did the setting perfectly in Scream 6. You really got to feel the atmosphere of New York. You got to feel it felt like a real version of New York, and it was great with the gas station, the alleyways, all that kind of fun stuff was really good. The buildings, the way they used those when some of the characters were coming out of one building to another one, using that ladder up on the third floor or whatever, all that stuff was really well done. And the subway sequence was one of my favorite scenes in this whole freaking franchise, really, but especially between these two movies. I thought that was really cool. And creepy the way they use Ghostface there, and all that just kind of plays into the setting. So honestly, I'm going to have to kick Woodsboro to the side and go with New York on this one, man.
Yeah, man, and it's this kind of matchup, I'll be honest with you, it's not really fair, just because we've been to Woodsboro so many times already, and we're going to freaking throw New York at you with trying to, give a good horror movie New York setting, unlike Jason Takes Manhattan, which I like that movie, so screw you, Brad. We'll get to that eventually. We'll do a rematch of that particular session with Jason Takes Manhattan. You pretty much knocked pretty much the main things about this argument, so I'm going to go with Scream 6.
Hell yeah, dude. And one thing to note is that, Scream 5, they go back to Stu's house, which I thought was a cool use of the setting in Woodsboro, but also didn't really add anything new to it. But it was cool. It was nostalgic. Okay, so we talked about that. Let's talk about the characters, man. Both of these movies, obviously, we get a new, like you said, the core 4 characters introduced to us in Scream 5. They come over in Scream 6. This is kind of an interesting dilemma here, because I think those core 4 characters are better in Scream 6. But I think I enjoy the overall, cast more in Scream 5. I liked Richie. I liked Amber. I liked even the side character of what's his name with fucking Kyle Gallner, his ass. He was interesting. I liked all those people quite a bit. Judy Hicks obviously came back in Scream 5. Wes was a decent little character. So I think they did a better job with the small, just from the overall cast in Scream 5, but I really like what they did with the characters in Scream 6, but just the smaller characters that were added in Scream 6 weren't as good as the ones that were in Scream 5, in my opinion. So I'm going to give this one Scream 5.
Oh, okay. I see you there. Yeah, it's easy to go with Scream 5 on this particular one, because we're bringing back, the characters from the past to help advance the characters of the future. So this is why I'm going to give it to Scream 6 for the character comparison, just because we have developed those core 4 characters, and for us to even like them more, because I know a lot of people have a problem with Sam and freaking Mindy, and I wouldn't say people have a problem with Chad and Jenna Ortega's character of Tara, just because, again, that has such a likability factor. But I thought Scream 6 did a really great job just taking them to a whole nother level of their character development without any use of rarely any legacy characters, with the exception of Kirby and Gale, which I thought they did their parts, but not enough where it really does what we call meddling with the newer characters. So I have big faith in these new characters going into the future of the Scream franchise, especially with 7 to finish this particular trilogy up. So for the character comparisons, I'm going with Scream 6. So far, this is a freaking clean sweep.
Clean sweep for the Scream 6. Okay, well, let's go on to the next little bit here. While we're talking about the characters and stuff, we can't go too far about the character conversation without talking about Ghostface and kills. Now, for this category, we're talking about Ghostface dressed out as Ghostface, the way he acts, the way he kills people and all that stuff, and the kills as well will be looped into this because they all kind of play together. What are your thoughts, first and foremost? I'll let you go first this time.
Oh man, dude, I love what they did with Scream 5, especially the Judy Hicks death of Sparkly as Ghostface, killing Judy in the middle of the freaking day. That's rarely done in this franchise, freaking daytime kills. So that was unexpected and freaking brutal. Bring back the or really just showed the brutality of the knife kill. Just a simple knife, man. Kind of like how the Joker says, like, guns is too cheap. Knives, you get to really see who they truly are before they die. But so I like all that aspect, but man, freaking Scream 6, if we're talking about just the look of Ghostface, the mentality of Ghostface in 6 not only looked great, but that Ghostface did not give a fuck. They were there for one goal and one goal only, and that's the freaking kill, man. We got shotgun kills. We got freaking falling off ladders kills. Just the brutality of this movie is just so freaking crazy. So once again, I'm going with Scream 6.
Yeah, dude, I like what Scream 5 did. I think they did a good job of making Ghostface intimidating again, especially with that opening kill. I thought it was intense and great it wasn't really a kill, I guess, but Jenna Ortega's sequence there at the beginning of the movie. All that was super intense and really well done, and really good callback to the first movie. But I thought the best takeaway from that moment is how badass Ghostface was. And again, later when Dewey dies in Scream 5, thought Ghostface looked strong there. I know, it was Amber, whatever. She's badass. Like, she kicked a little ass there. And just the way, like, they introduced that little voice changer thing where they just turn it on and they're like, oh,
yeah, we've never seen that before. And that was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool, man. And then she's like, oh, you're not getting away that easy. Or I don't remember exactly what she said. But either way, it was badass. So they did a lot of good things of introducing those, elements of Ghostface in that movie. But, dude, how can you compare these two? Scream 6 did not give any fucks, like you said, man. I always think about the sequence where he tries to slay the group of characters in the apartment complex there. He was in there just fucking beating down doors, freaking the way whenever the girl's climbing across the ladder and he pops up to the ladder and he just fucking jams the knife in the window sill there and he's like, let's fucking play. And then, like you said, the shotgun, the whole gas station thing was badass. That sequence with Gail was really effective too, where he chucks the boyfriend across the fucking hall or whatever, and just fucking that session, that little fight they had was really good. And also the opening too, and the voice of Ghostface in this thing was really good. I thought Roger L. Jackson really brought it in this movie. And at the beginning, for instance, where he's like, oh, who gives a fuck about the movies? All that stuff, a lot of good one-liners there were great. And let's not forget about the look of Ghostface in Scream 6 with the weathered mask and all that was really good. My favorite look of Ghostface ever. So yeah, Scream 6 by a mile, but Scream 5 did good with it.
Dude, man, freaking Roger L., man, his voice, finer with age, like a fine wine, man. It just gets freaking better and better, man. So if we could have him do the voice forever, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, I thought he fucking was on top of it, like maybe better than ever in this last movie, man. Some of the stuff they were doing, it was good. At least in a while, at least over the last few movies. But yeah, man, no comparison to me. Even the end, we'll get to it. I guess let's talk about that. Let's talk about the killer reveal while we're on this path, man.
Big spoiler alerts ahead, so here we go.
Yes. So I thought the killer reveal in general was the weakest part of these two movies. I wasn't wild about either one of them because I just didn't. I don't know. The first one just felt really predictable. And whatnot. It felt really safe. They both felt pretty safe. But the first one with Richie and Amber, what I do like about that one is the aftermath. Once they do reveal themselves, they both turn fucking crazy as shit, especially Amber in the kitchen. She was nuts, dude, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then she gets caught on fire and freaking shit. Like, yeah, that was great. So I really, really liked what they did with her, and just that whole sequence there, man, it was good. Scream 6, I liked the reveal, pretty solid. I thought I was okay with it. What my favorite part about Scream 6's ending, the reveal, was the fact that there were 3 ghost faces for the first time ever. And when that actually happened on screen, that was really cool. Whenever you see the 2 ghost faces pop out, like at the same time, I don't know, have we seen that before? Where 2 were actually stabbing one person at one time?
Nope, that was the first time ever, and they do the double knife cling like that, dude. I will tell you, that's like a top 3 shot of all time in the Scream franchise.
Yeah, that was super cool, man. I like that. And then they all 3 pop up and reveal at the same time. Like, I thought that was cool. The reveal itself was fine. I liked the cop, Detective Bailey. I liked his reveal because I thought it was kind of cool to see a cop be Ghostface. I thought that was kind of, different. And once they revealed their motive, it made sense. It kind of tied into the 5th movie, being the parent. He was the dad of Richie from the first movie. So I like that. That was cool. What I like most about Scream 6, besides all that, is how intense it gets after the reveal. The chase sequence, it's like freaking, you can't keep up with all this stuff. It's madness, dude. They're running around. There's 3 of them. There's all kind, like Herbie's running around. Everybody's running around. Like they're all getting separated. There's people falling off of fucking balconies and shit. Like it's crazy. It's really intense. And they got freaking brutally slayed. I think I would probably give the edge here to Scream 6, just off the top.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for Scream 6, they kind of like, I love the reveal, again, like you mentioned, the double ghost faces and all that, like on the screen at the exact same time. That was badass. But again, with the reveal of like the 3 ghost faces, like, again, like you said, it was good and it was fine. Like, I have no issue with it. I didn't think it was lazy or anything like that, especially with the motive of just, again, good old-fashioned revenge. But we've already seen that with revenge and all that. Again, it makes sense for this story, but it felt like we've already seen that before with Scream 2. Yeah, so with Scream 5, with the killer reveals that of Amber and Richie, which I'll go ahead and say, I thought Amber was a very underrated Ghostface for me. I think she's definitely one of the most underrated Ghostface in the entire franchise. I loved her performance, but man, Richie, dude, he did a complete 180 in that movie after the reveal, and that's where I fell in love with the Jack Quaid actor, where he gave that stellar performance. And I'll be honest with you, I love the freaking motive of like, you know, like saving the franchise, of saving how much horror movies mean to them and how they freaking just ruin it during that franchise, because we've seen that far too much with some of our favorite horror franchise properties. So I'll be honest with you, this is where my clean sweep will end. I'm going Scream 5 with this.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy sweep. We should pull that video of you up from that Halloween Kills.
This is going to be an easy sweep. Evil dies tonight.
That's not, yeah. I mean, both of these, yeah. That's I can't disagree too much. I don't really, like I said, I'm not crazy about either of these. So it just, you know, pick one and roll with it is kind of how I went into it. Okay. So I think that's most. So let's go ahead and figure out what the most memorable moment is each of these.
Oh man, can I please go first?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I'll even though we've both already mentioned it, I'm going to mention it again because again, I think it's a top 3 shot of all time. It might be actually my favorite like sequence in Scream history. It's again where both of the ghost faces come in, freaking just doing a stab party on freaking Chad, and then them doing that again, the knife clear at the exact same time. To me, that moment will live in my brain freaking forever, just because I was sitting in the theater and I was smiling as well the Chad. That's how like excited I got as a Scream fan seeing that.
Yeah, dude, that was super cool, man. What about Scream 5, man? What about Scream 5?
Oh, Scream 5, thank you. Man, I'll be honest with you. I think it's just a Judy Hicks kill on that one, just because I did not expect a daytime kill, especially we're in the middle of the neighborhood, which, by the way, where the hell was everybody in the middle of the day? And her scream and gargle like, like
unlike her ass, like, they were all at work, dude.
I guess so, man. Or freaking getting sushi or something, man. The popular sushi place in town. But that particular one, that not only made me jump a little, that just was so unexpected. So that memory is there. And of course, the opening of Scream 5. That will forever just be in my brain.
Yeah, I really like that sequence in 5. And for 5, just for the sake of something different here, I'm going to go with the Dewey kill, man. I think that's a moment that obviously every time I think of Scream 5, that's what comes to mind. That and the sushi sequence. They're both, that's what I call it, is the sushi sequence, because it's what's going on. But yeah, both of those are really effective and just, you know, really solid, you know, it's something you can think of when you think of these movies. Scream 6 for me, I'm going to go with it. Like I said earlier, that subway sequence I fucking love, man. That's something that really, and I know the trailer showed it, so maybe that's why it was in a lot of the posters and stuff like that too. So it really, really comes to mind quick when you think about this movie. But dude, I just like what they did with Ghostface down there when the lights are flickering and he's getting closer and closer to Mindy. That was just that was a dirty move, man. That was scary. That was tense. That was really neat. And just the fact that they brought all those other horror icons in there for Halloween time was also really cool. You saw the Shining twins, you saw freaking you know, Jason Voorhees, 2 versions of Jason Voorhees. You saw Michael Myers,
Grace from Ready or Not.
Yes, which was super cool,
Mojo
right?
Jojo.
Yeah, dude, Mojo Jojo and all kinds of cool stuff, man. The Grace thing was awesome. Pinhead was down there. That was just a really cool moment, man, for horror fans. So yeah, I think I would go with both of those. They're really good.
Yeah, man, and just to kind of throw in the subway sequence, like how you mentioned how they marketed this movie really damn good. Yeah, I know we saw this whole subway sequence in the trailer, but they still changed. They didn't give us everything that happened in that subway sequence, like with the two separate subway trains and like the first fake out of Ghostface. So again, the marketing excellent to hide some of the great stuff in that subway sequence.
Yeah, I agree, man. They did a really good job with that. Okay, so what do you think, man? What's your thoughts and your rating for these flicks, man? Final thoughts.
Alrighty, well, I'll go with these, and then we'll say who the freaking winner is, which I'm pretty sure y'all can figure out already who we think is the winner of this particular Slash It Out. But with Scream 5, I thought it was a great reintroduction, a great requel for bringing back such a popular franchise and making it even more popular than ever. Love the newer characters. I love how they handled the legacy characters in this one, so they passed on the torch. I'm a big sucker for Scream 5. I know a lot of people are not. So Scream 5, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Scream 6, I was going to expect to really enjoy this movie, a simple 4 out of 5, but man, this movie fucking blew me away with the freaking tense, like the setting was great, the atmosphere was great, the tense scenes were phenomenal, while also enjoying the core 4 characters even more. And of course, my girl Kirby is back, so it makes everything fucking great. So if I'm gonna rate this movie, honestly, I know I gave it a golden reel right previously from the last conversation of Scream 6, but it has dialed down a little bit, so I would go a 4.75 out of 5 for Scream 6.
Shoot, yeah, man. Yeah, so I think these, in short, what I feel about these two movies is it broke a popular trend of recent requels. And that, I mean, in the best way possible. Force Awakens came out, very safe sequel to the Star Wars, trilogy, the original trilogy. Comes out very safe, follows that same path. It's really good, but still very safe. But it gets people excited for the future of the franchise. But then they come in with that second movie and it dies. And then Halloween does the same thing. They come out with 2018, very safe storyline, nothing crazy, bringing back the characters, reestablishing the world. It was really good, but still kind of safe, but got people excited for the future of the franchise. And then the second one comes out, blue, it goes kind of away at that point for most people. And this movie and this one was following that same little formula. The Scream 5 came out, very safe storyline, reestablishing characters, getting people excited for the future. I think a lot of people thought maybe Scream 6 would do the same thing that all these other little middle of the trilogy, movies have done, but it did not, dude. It actually elevated this franchise to heights it has. Honestly, it's moved it forward farther than any movie has since the first movie. I think it really did give us a lot of things to be excited about, give us characters that we like, and build upon those new characters that now they can do whatever they want with this franchise, and it makes sense. Didn't need Neve Campbell to do it. Basically, without her, they took the training wheels off and they said, let's just go make a story that people are going to like, and they did that. So yeah, I'm going to go with Scream 6 in this, but with my ratings, I still give a very safe, solid 4.0 to Scream 5. And I think I'll stick with a 4.5 for Scream 6.
Hell yeah. And just to go with what you said, I easily pick right up there Scream 6 as the victor of this Slash It Out for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I do, but you know what? Screw what we think, man. What do you all think? You all get to freaking decide this. We'll be sure to post a poll in our community page section. And you know what? Just for maybe shits and giggles, we'll post this on Killer Flicks because we want to hear from you guys. So you all get to pick the particular victor in this matchup.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Let us know. Gonna be awesome. And can't wait to do the next Slash It Out, which is probably going to be Evil Dead, but we'll keep you posted.
Oh man, freaking going from one great franchise into another. So before we get into that Evil Dead feature Slash It Out, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this particular Slash It Out between Scream 5 and Scream 6? Which movie do you think is the better one? Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find a good reels, all of our socials are down below in the description, as well as the Patreon link. Check that stuff out. and we will see you there.
All right, and until then, we are officially done with the Scream franchise for the bit. We will return to this freaking franchise once we get news of Scream 7. But until then, we will see you all for the next one.
Peace out, brothers.
Yeah!
No!